This $200 throttle could be the last one you ever need to buy. If you're tired of a desk cluttered with separate throttles for an Airbus, a Boeing and a fighter jet, MOZA believes they have a single modular solution. But is it realistic for one throttle to truly master every type of flying? And how does it stack up against other options like Thrustmaster and Honeycomb? Let's find out. For many flight simmers, the dream has been a single unified system, one that's a jack of all trades without any major compromises. This is the MOZA MTQ throttle quadrant, and it aims to be that solution. MOZA, a brand that has been moving aggressively from the sim racing world into the flight simulator space, is making a bold entrance with this product. The MTQ base unit is surprisingly compact, which is a good starting point for most desk setups. It's constructed from a very hard, high quality plastic with some metal accents on the switches. While some may prefer an all metal build, the plastic used here feels really solid and substantial, with a decent amount of weight. The buttons have a satisfying tactile click, and the rotary knobs, which are essential for autopilot and radio adjustments, feel really precise and nice. They also have a really nice tactile click when you push them in. The quadrant includes 4 main axes, 2 for the throttle, 1 for the speed brake and 1 for flaps. And all 4 axes include distinct physical detents. There's 1 detent on the speed brake to actually arm the speed brake, and the rest is just a smooth axis, and then the throttle has 5 different detents for each different setting of flaps. It also has a dedicated landing gear lever, and the front panel is equipped with 10 programmable buttons, with 6 of those being RGB backlit. There's 3 rotary knobs, 2 of those are continuous encoders for changing things like autopilot and frequencies. On top of that, there's 2 switches at the bottom, a switch on the side that allows you to select different things, and both the rotary encoders have a push down button as well. But the main selling point is the modular lever system. The base unit comes with the TQF or the fighter style grips. For about $39 each, you can add on the TQA for Airbus and the TQB for Boeing. These connect via custom sliding rail system, and swapping them in is straightforward. You slide off the old ones and click the new ones in. The connection feels really secure without any noticeable wobble. This is the core of the MTQ's promise, and while it sounds great on paper, we need to see how it performs in the simulator. And here we are in 2024 with the Phoenix A320. As you can see, I've got the Airbus style levers, which are shaped to mimic the feeling of a real A320 throttle. Now, when comparing this up against the Thrustmaster TCAs, I've got to say, MOZA has hit this out of the park. The throttles look amazing and they feel fantastic in the hand. The first thing you'll notice are the detents. They feel really impressive. The levers themselves slide really smoothly until you hit the first detent at climb and you get that really satisfying click. And the same goes moving forward all the way through flex and toga. The thing I didn't really like about the Thrustmaster Airbus throttles is they never really had a good detent click, where this is really solid and you get a really nice feeling, where with the Thrustmaster ones, I was easily able to miss the detents. Not only that, but with the MOZA ones, we've actually got more realistic detents. Not only do you have the reverser like you do on the Airbus where it actually slides back on an axis, but there's also a detent for the reverser idle and then all the way to max. But more excitingly, let's jump across to the TQB levers, the Boeing ones. These levers have been heavily inspired by the 737 ones, and they are by far one of the best grips I've ever felt in Flight Simulator. Compared to ones on the market like the Honeycomb Bravo, the Thrustmaster Boeing, and even things like Saytech with custom grips, this by far is the best feeling Boeing throttles I've ever had. The biggest issue across all the other competitors, like with Honeycomb and even Thrustmaster, is the scaling is just way off. Not only that, but their designs just don't feel right. When you're actually holding them in your hand and using them as a throttle, they just feel weird and kind of like this weird toy. Where MOZA has done an absolutely astounding job not only making them look real, but feel fantastic. They fit in the hand perfectly. Not only that, but they're fully functional with the auto throttle disconnect on each of the levers and also with the toga button on each side as well. Of course, it's got the reverses. This is not on an axis, it's just a button. You just pull back the reverse levers and you'll go into reverse. The only critique I'll have is that the speed brake and flap levers are not in the Boeing style and they're a little on the small side, which isn't a huge problem, and thankfully to the modularity it means it can be swapped out. Just like with the Thrustmaster 1s and Honeycomb, it won't be long until we see custom options hit the market. But overall, flying with the actual unit itself feels really intuitive. Everything is really easy to access, and the throttle axes themselves have a really high degree of precision. They've got a surprising amount of travel, meaning you can be super precise with your power settings. And the thing I love about this whole lineup that MOZA's released is they're really a high-end desk setup, meaning you can use them across multiple different aircrafts. It's not like the Thrustmaster Airbus where it's kind of specifically tailored to an aircraft, which some might seem as a downside, but to me personally, I actually really like it. I fly lots of different aircrafts. One minute I could be in the iFly 737, the next in the I&I Build's A350, and then in a helicopter or Parallel 42's Juice Goose. My point is, with this throttle I can do all that. I don't need to switch out throttles or change a bunch of settings. It's as literally as simple as swapping out the handles and then going straight away. And not only that, with all the programmable buttons, it lets me do even more, like fine-tuning the autopilot with those rotary knobs, or even changing frequencies if I'm on something like Say Intention or VATSIM. But let's quickly take a look at the software, because good hardware is only one part of the equation, and software needs to be functional as well. Just like with most of MOZA's hardware, it can be controlled through their MOZA cockpit software. It's the same unified driver designed for all their gear. The user interface is clean and really easy to navigate. The software is packed with a bunch of features, allowing you to change the RGB lighting, fine-tune the throttle curves, and most importantly, calibrate the detent positions. Another cool thing I love about the software is as you swap out the handles, MOZA Cockpit actually sees this and will show you what handles you've got installed and show you the mappable buttons as you do it. Now let's just quickly take a look at the I/O really quickly. Connecting the throttles to your computer is really simple. It uses a USB Type B connector. I would have loved to seen a USB-C, but like many of MOZA's equipment, they love to use the Type B. I'm not too sure if there's a reason behind this, but thankfully the USB Type B is a really solid connector and you can get them relatively easy should you lose one. Alongside with the USB Type B port is an RJ11 port. If you have any other MOZA products like the AB9 or the AB6, it basically allows you to piggyback off other hardware. So you can really easily connect this into your joystick or yoke and just have the one cable going to your computer. So after putting the MTQ through its paces, does it live up to the ambitious claims? For the most part, yes. The MOZA MTQ throttle quadrant is an impressive and ambitious piece of hardware. Its greatest strength is its modularity, which is executed very well. The ability to swap from an authentic feeling Airbus throttle to a precise Boeing setup and then to a functional hostess is genuinely amazing. The build quality feels really solid, the precision is excellent, and the physical detents for each leather style are unique and amazing. Not only that, but the standalone features like the buttons, the switches, the encoders, the landing gear lever are all fantastic. It allows you to fly multiple different aircrafts and even control the autopilot all from the throttle quadrant. But is it perfect? Not quite. Some users will wish that the entire unit was made of metal, which is something that MOZA is really well known for, making high quality metal products. Though I will say the high quality plastic keeps the weight and cost down. Others might find that the speed brake and flap levers to be on the smaller side, and while the fighter grips are functional, they don't have that premium feeling that the other grips kind of get. But you have to consider the value proposition. The base unit is $200, and each extra lever set is about $39. For around $270, you get a single system that can capably cover Airbus, Boeing, fighter jets, and so much more. Achieving that same functionality with separate dedicated units would cost significantly more and take up a lot more desk space. And not only that, but the systems that do currently exist, like the Honeycomb Bravo unit, which in my opinion are nowhere near as nice, and that's for a multitude of different reasons. Normally I kind of go over who this is for, but it's such a versatile unit that it's kind of aimed at everyone. And that's the whole lineup that MOZA's kind of released, especially with the AB6. These units are made as kind of not just for one specific aircraft, they're made as these versatile standalone units. For an example, as I covered in my last review, the AB6 has its own throttle, the MFG grip has a rudder built in, it's got buttons all over the base of the unit, and the MTQ throttles are very much in the same way. You can fly a multitude of different aircrafts. It's not specifically tailored at Airbus or Boeing. You can fly GA with it, you can control the autopilot. There's so many things you can do with this throttle. And it's perfect whether you're set up in a tight space on a desk, or whether you have a full sim rig just like me. You can mount it to a sim rig, you can easily sit it on your desk, you can use it wherever you are, and it doesn't take up a bunch of space. But I'd love to know what you think. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what your current throttle setup is, and if there's anything you want to know specifically about the MTQ. But as always guys, I can't thank you enough for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button, get subscribed. I can't thank you all enough for the support, it's been amazing. I just want to give a quick shout out to MOZA for sending out the MTQ throttles for me to check out and add to my setup. But as always guys, until next time, I'll catch you then.